It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet have won once previously, and today's winner moves on to the elementary school semifinals to play Bond Mill. Let's meet today's teams right now. First, from Dodge Park Elementary, would you please say hello to Steve Menjivar, Chigozie Agodo, and Serena Marr. And from Kenilworth Elementary School, here they are, Elijah Arcusa, Andrew Lee, and George Campbell. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easier questions worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones, 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 winning teams will come back to play Bond Mill in the next stage of our competition. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Dodge Park, red team. Chigozie, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Serena, and to Steve. And Andrew, would you try yours? All right, green buzzer and light seem to be working both. Good luck to you, to George, and to Elijah. Congratulations, teams, on making it this far in our competition. You're great teams. May the better team win today. We go alphabetically D before K. So Dodge Park and Chigozie, let's start the bowl.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, if you know your astrology signs and you know what Pisces is, if I asked you why pelicans are considered piscivorous, you would say this. Andrew.
They have a pouch.
They don't have a pouch. No, good try. If you know your astrology signs and you know what the sign Pisces is, then you would know what the answer to the question is, why are pelicans considered piscivorous? They eat fish. Pisces is the astrological sign for fish. Go again, red. Chigozie.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, doctors recommend that if you have a cold or a flu this season, you use your elephant arm when you sneeze. You put it up like this in front of your face. It's called an elephant arm because it actually looks like an elephant's what? Dodge Park?
Trunk.
Trunk it is, yes indeed. Go red.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. This is disgusting. There are some soft-shell turtles that live in China that live in salt water. They can't drink the salt water, so they can't use their kidneys, so they get rid of this liquid excrement through their mouth. Dodge Park.
Pee.
Pee, that's right, they pee through their mouth. Isn't that the worst? Woo. Okay, go red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Get physical for 15 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. This is a visual question. Here you see an Olympic gymnast dusting his hands with magnesium carbonate chalk.
What you said?
I think you jumped the gun on that.
Maybe so his hand won't slip. A better grip.
Not quite. Not quite. Kenilworth, putting that chalk on his hands is in order, he's doing that in order to increase what force?
He's trying to increase his gravity.
Yes, gentlemen. Answer?
Gravity?
Friction. Friction. He wants to increase friction so his hands don't slip. That's what we want. Okay. You got a little ahead of the game there. All right. 65-50, red team again.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, if you've ever held one of these over a piece of paper and caught it on fire, you can thank Roger Bacon back in 1280 for inventing this kind of lens.
Magnifying glass?
A magnifying glass. That's right, Kenilworth. Indeed, a magnifying glass. Bug torture. Don't even think about it. Go green.
Body systems for 15.
Body assistance for 15 points. Teams, if you have a cut that isn't healing as fast as you would like, could be that you're lacking this vitamin that you could get from tomatoes and citrus fruits. What vitamin, Dodge Park?
C.
C it is. Yes, sir. Ascorbic acid. Go red.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, these body parts are considered deciduous because they all fall out before you get your permanent set. Kenilworth.
Teeth.
Teeth, that's right. Your baby teeth are considered deciduous teeth because they all fall out, just like the leaves on a tree. Good. Green, please. Yes, sir.
Zuperate for 25.
Zuperate for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, look at the monitor again for a visual question. Teams, this Galapagos hawk is not about to eat that Galapagos tortoise. But every other animal on the islands of the Galapagos are in danger because the hawk, according to the food chain, is at the top. Thereby, we call him the apex what? Dodge Park.
Predator?
Yes, the apex predator. Nicely done. Good assist from Steve and Serena there. Go Chigozi.
Zuperate for 20.
Zuperate for 20 points. Teams, you talk about gender identity. The male seahorse acts maternal because it is he who is pregnant with the babies, but then he acts this way when he guards the babies after they're born. Dodge Park.
Protective.
More.
He acted like the mother so he could protect the babies.
No. Good try. Kenilworth. Gender identity. There's a little confusion here because the male seahorse acts maternal because the male is pregnant and contains the babies in his pouch. Then he acts this way after the babies come out and he protects them. The opposite of maternal is paternal. He acts like the man instead of the woman. That's what we were after there. Go red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, Ray Lewis, star of the Baltimore Ravens, out for most of the season with a torn triceps muscle. I'll give you the points if you can show me or tell me where it is. Kenilworth, where's the triceps?
In your
Is
arm.
it show and tell?
In your arm.
Be more specific, please.
Your upper arm.
Upper arm, we will take that, absolutely right. The back of the upper arm, the opposite muscle to the biceps. Go green. Good answer, Andrew.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, because grass blades contain little bits of silica, it's no wonder that sometimes you can cut your finger on a blade of grass, and cows can grind their teeth down by chewing it because silica is part of what material that shatters easily? Dodge
Glass.
Park. Glass. Yes, there's a little bit of glass in every blade of grass. All right, the buzzer has rung. Quick first round. Dodge Park in the lead, 120. Kenilworth right behind at 70. We'll be back with part 2 of this Science Bowl game in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today. 6 great players playing our game. They're back for their second round. All of these teams, both these teams, won previously, and today's team winner goes on in our competition. Let's go to Dodge Park, and you guys are a ball of fire again today. Chigozie, what do you attribute your success? Do you guys practice a lot?
Yes, we practice on, well, last week we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but usual weeks we practice Wednesday and Thursday.
Wow, so that's a lot of practice in addition to your regular schoolwork. Well, it's certainly paying off because you're doing a nice job. You work together well as a team, and that's one of the keys to success on Science Bowl here. Tell us about Dodge Park. Who's your principal?
Miss Holmes.
Miss Holmes, and I know she's been with you all along and supporting you, and you had 2 sponsors, didn't you? Who are they?
4, actually.
4 sponsors, all right. Who are they?
Yeah, we have Creek Caruso, Darcel Harris. Oh, my mistake. Sponsors, we have Ms. Barbour and Mr. Burnt.
Wonderful. And I know the work they've put in, and they're about to come out. And you were just listing for me the alternates, weren't you? And I know you do that well. You've memorized all their names, and they're waiting to hear their names.
Creek Caruso, Darcel Harris, Tiana Glover, and Jamal Alexander.
Nicely done, Chigozie. You're a wonderful captain. You're cool and calm. Whatever the question. Tell me about Dodge Park. You told me once it's just a beautiful place to be, right?
Yeah, it's when you go in, you can feel very protected because it's a kind environment.
Wow, so you feel like you're at home among family. That's just great. And someday you'd like to go on, and what do you want to do?
I would like to become a doctor.
Yeah, your mom has told you you've been saying that ever since you're a little boy. And you'd like to go to Yale, and your doctor partner over there, Serena, also, but you want to go to Princeton. So you're both aiming for Ivy League schools, and I think that's just terrific. And you wanted to be a doctor because?
Because my aunt was a pharmacist, so I was always involved in the medical field, so I was persuaded to be a doctor.
Absolutely right. What do you do in your spare time, Serena?
I played clarinet in my school band.
Yeah. How long have you played?
For 3 years now.
4 years. Do you have, for 3 years, do you have your own instrument? You do. That's great. I was a clarinet player at one time in my career as well, and yeah, it makes great sound. Steve, soccer player, wants to go on to be a professional football player, and you have played against Chigozie on a soccer match, right? Yeah. Today you're on the same team, on the same Science Bowl team. Why'd you want to be here, Steve?
Oh, well, I've never been actually on TV, and when they told us on TV, I was like, oh, that's nice.
Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. You're on TV. You can wave and say, hey, Mom, look at me, right? Well, you're doing a nice job here, and, you know, being on TV, you can be a little nervous at first, but you'd never know you hadn't been here before. Keep up your good work. Keep advising Chigozie, all right? Okay. Kenilworth, nice to have you guys with us again. You're wearing your matching shirts over there. Kenilworth, 50th anniversary, a big milestone in the Bowie School's history. Andrew, tell us about Kenilworth. Who's your principal?
Mr. Henderson.
Mr. Henderson. And the sponsor of your team?
Miss Keller.
Miss Keller, and she is so excited to have you guys in the competition this year. Any alternates on your team?
Well, they were our alternates, so we switched them out.
Yeah, so who's now in the other room?
Sarah and Kaylee.
All right, and they're out there rooting for Elijah and George. And Andrew, Kenilworth is just a great place to go to school because you told me you just have great teachers there and great kids. Mm-hmm. What else do you need, right? What else do you need? Someday, what are we going to see you doing?
Need a pastry chef.
Pastry chef, yeah. And if we were coming over to visit and you were whipping up something really special for us to satisfy our sweet tooth, what would you make us?
Apple pie.
Whoa, all right. Do you put anything on top?
Cinnamon, sugar.
Yeah. Can I get ice cream on mine? All right, I'm coming over. Andrew, thanks. You played a great game here today. George, nice to have you on the show for the first time. You're quite welcome. And I know you aspire to be a film director. Not just any film director. He admires Lucas and Spielberg and all the great ones, right?
Yep.
What kind of movies you want to make?
Well, most of the time, I like to make realistic films. Most of the time, maybe a documentary or two, but really I just want to make at least one or two action adventure movies, and maybe just like more realistic movies.
Wow. So in not too many years ahead, we're going to see a film by George Campbell, right? Going to be at the multiplex, right?
Yep.
I'm going to look for it.
And also, my dad tells me that when I'm an Oscar-winning director, I'm going to include all you guys in my speech.
All right, we're going to remember that, okay? Yeah. All right, George. Nice to have you with us today. Elijah, young man who is interested in falconry, right? And also the Amazon jungle. This guy is going to be an adventurer. How'd you get interested in all this stuff?
Well, at first, like, from TV shows and stuff, like I've seen macaws, and I went over to my dad's friend's house, and he owns conures and a macaw. And first of all,
macaws are, you can find those in the Amazon, right? The big parrots? Yeah. Go ahead.
And first of all, they're very beautiful. They have various colors, and they have very interesting facts.
And you have birds at home, don't you? What do you raise at home?
Cockatiels.
Cockatiels. So you are an amateur ornithologist, right? A bird expert. And I know you like birds of prey, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, they're just magnificent creatures. And you reminded me earlier that a peregrine falcon is the fastest thing on earth, right? Even faster than the land animal, the cheetah. No, you know your stuff, Elijah. You're a good asset to the team here today. Let's get back to our game. Kenilworth 70, Dodge Park 120. Lots of points to give away. Start us out, Chigozie.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 points. Teams, if you're making chocolate chip cookies, if Andrew were making chocolate chip cookies, and the recipe called for sodium bicarbonate, he might not have any of that, but yes, he might if he had a box of baking what? Dodge Park?
Soda.
Baking soda. That's what sodium bicarbonate is. Absolutely right. Helps the cookies rise and get a little fluffier. Go red.
Green things for 5.
Green things, 5 points. Teams, boy, the squirrels are happy this year because masting is occurring among oak trees, which means they're dropping a lot of these, Kenilworth.
Nuts.
More specifically,
acorns.
That's what I want to hear. Oh, I heard that in triplicate. I like that, guys. Go green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, if you spread this F-initialed substance around the base of a plant, Chigozie.
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer, absolutely right. I was going to ask, what are these vitamins for plants called? Because they contain so many nutrients, and you jumped it, and you got it. Go red.
Green things for 10.
Green things, 10 points. Teams, the question is as follows. Botanists think that it is the leftover food in the leaf that causes this most vibrant of colors in fall leaves. Kenilworth.
Orange.
Not orange, no. Dodge Park, the most vibrant of the colors in the fall leaves caused by leftover food in them.
Purple.
Red. Oh. Red. Go red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, there is some volcanic soil in a number of U.S. states, like Washington and Oregon and Idaho. But what one state is entirely volcanic soil? Dodge Park.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh, I'll pass it to Steve.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. I think you were trying to say Oahu and Hawaii at the same time there. We knew what you meant. Good answer. You got the points. Thank you, Steve. Go, Chigozie.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri. Science potpourri, that was 10 points, correct, judges? All right, could you pick another, please?
Potpourri for 5.
Science potpourri for 5 points. Teams, back in 1903, they invented these sticks made of wax and pigmentation that let America's kids color for the first time. Dodge Park?
Crayons.
Crayons, absolutely right. There are 133 colors right now. Good, go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. The big one in that category, teams. If you eat wheat germ, you are eating the very nutritious, nutty-tasting part of the wheat seed. It's called wheat germ not because it has anything to do with disease, but it has to do with this process whereby the first little... Dodge Park?
Germinate.
It does germinate. That's right. That is the place in the embryo where the seedling germinates. That's why it's called the germ. Nicely done. You got yourself 25 more points. Go red.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, if you want to win a Nobel Prize, according to a recent study, all you have to do is eat more of this. Dark milk with almonds or without. Dodge Park.
Cocoa.
Not cocoa. Kenilworth. Dark. Milk, with almonds or without. Eat more of it, and you might increase your chances of getting a Nobel Prize. Come on, Andrew.
Oatmeal?
Chocolate.
Oh.
Chocolate. All right, you came closest with cocoa. Go red.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Back in World War II, when we could not get access to the South Seas because the Japanese were there, we had to invent a substitute for rubber. In the process, we found another rubbery substance that turned into a very popular toy called Silly. Kenilworth?
Putty.
Silly putty it is. Yes, good. Go, green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, back in the mid-1940s, after the war, many objects like Legos and cooties and Mr. Potato Head started to be made of something called polystyrene, which is just one of many varieties of this substance. Kenilworth?
Plastic.
Plastics, yes. Plastics was big back then. Still is in many ways. Paper or plastic. All right. 100 points. 190 points. Where do we go next, Andrew?
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, Marie Curie was one of only 2 women to win a Nobel Prize in this science field. How well do you know your science fields as far as the Nobel Prizes are concerned? Get yourself an additional 15 points if you can tell me, Kenilworth.
Biology?
Not biology. Good try. Marie Curie was one of only 2 women to win a Nobel Prize in this science field.
Something's telling me health. Okay.
What do you think, Dodge Park?
Chemistry.
Physics. Physics. Good try. You eliminated the other 2. Go again, green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, because this genetic substance has a limited half-life, the chances of ever developing a real-life Jurassic Park are probably pretty slim. Chigozie.
2-0.
Again?
2-0.
2-0?
Pretty slim to nothing.
No. I was asking for the genetic substance. Kenilworth, what genetics? The half-life of this genetic substance is such that we probably will never develop a Jurassic Park.
DNA?
DNA, that's right. If you remember, that was the big part of Jurassic Park where they showed you how it developed. Try again, green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Eating pineapple is very good for your digestive system because it contains plenty of these E-initialed chemicals that help chemical reactions but don't get used up in the process. Dodge Park.
Ectoplasm?
Not ectoplasm. Good try. What are these E-initial chemicals that help to catalyze reactions that are not used up in the process? Find plenty of them in pineapple.
Acetic acid?
Enzymes. Enzymes is what we were looking for there. Again, green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, this gas is both friend and foe. Here at the ground level, it's an irritant at the eyes, but way up in the sky, it protects us from dangerous radiation coming from the sun. What is the name of that gas? Friend and foe, both. Kenilworth.
Carbon dioxide?
No, good try. Not carbon dioxide. Dodge Park, can you give me the name of that gas? It protects us from dangerous radiation from the sun way up in the sky. Down at the ground, it irritates our eyes.
UV rays, ultraviolet.
Ozone. Ozone is the name of the substance. Try again, green. Almost out of questions.
Dateline science.
Still anybody's game. Excuse me.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Team, sadly, the panda cub died at the National Zoo. It was not getting enough oxygen to this largest internal organ. Dodge Park?
Lung.
No. Kenilworth? Liver it is. Absolutely right. Not enough oxygen getting to the liver. I was about to say it's the detoxifying center. All right. More points for the green team. Go again, Andrew.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Big one in that category. Teams, if someone is suffering from sickle cell anemia, what cells are sickled? Kenilworth.
White blood cells?
No, sir. Good try. What cells are sickled in people who have sickle cell anemia? Chigozie?
Red blood cells?
Red blood cells, absolutely right. The erythrocytes. Yes, they are bent and it's very painful as they try to make their way through the tiny capillaries. 3 questions left, all worth 25 points. Look at our score. Kenilworth 140, Dodge Park 215. Go, Chigozie.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, you've probably never heard of this, and don't worry that if you haven't. It's called Avogadro's number, 6.023 times 10 to the 23rd. It is associated with a quantity of molecules that goes by the same name as this furry mammal that burrows underground and eats your garden from underneath. What do we call that term, Dodge Park?
I know it. Come on.
Kenilworth? Not a groundhog. Dodge Park.
Weasel.
This quantity of molecules is known by this term that is also a small burrowing animal that can ruin your garden. Mole. Mole is the right answer. Sorry.
Mr.
All right.
C.
Yes. They had rung in, yes, so they didn't get another chance. Thank you. All right, 2 questions left. Advantage still red. Is that correct? Go red. Chigozie?
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, what scientist with a D initialed last name came up with ultrasound that let us see the fetal heartbeats of unborn babies and also let us see snow and rain come across a radar screen? D initialed. Doppler. Doppler was the right answer. Last question of the game, 25 points under Dateline. Ernest Everjust, for whom our middle school down the street is named, was a scientist who first discovered that these kinds of rays from the sun cause skin cancer. Name them. Dodge Park.
Ultraviolet rays.
Ultraviolet rays it is, and with that we've come to the end of our game. No more questions. We will come back in a moment and crown our champion. Don't go away.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet rich in fruits, vegetables and whole grains can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Boy, we put these young people under a lot of pressure. I was worried about Chigozie there. He was really sweating it at the end there, trying to protect his lead. And Kenilworth, you were coming up fast. We're so proud of our players. We congratulate all of them. Our final tally today is Kenilworth 140, Dodge Park 240. Congratulations to Steve and Chigozie and Serena. We're going to see you play Bond Mill in just a couple of months' time. And look at the alternates back there. Wave, Darcel, and Karik, and Tiana, and Jamal. And Mr. Burns, I know how proud you are. Miss Holmes, our principal over there, and Miss Barbour, who adopted Science Bowl as her project, and boy, she really ran with it. Congratulations to you. Let's see some smiles over here from our Falconer and Andrew and our future director, George. You all did a terrific job here today. Kaylee and Sarah, congratulations to you, too. You brought a lot of honor to Kenilworth in its 50th year. Ms. Keller, thank you for all your hard work. I hope you come back again with another super team. And we hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye now. You look a lot more relaxed, all of you now.